You never want to do this when crafting designs for Halloween. In this video, we're going to go over 6 types of Halloween designs you're going to want to stay far, far away from this Q4. I think you will find number 6 to be the trickiest and probably the one you're most likely to make a mistake with. The first type of design you do not want to be working on for your Etsy shop for Halloween are Sanderson sisters designs. Now, the Sanderson sisters are a trio of witches, if you're not familiar. They are the main antagonists in a Disney film called Hocus Pocus. The first one came out in 1993, and then there was a sequel, Hocus Pocus 2, that just came out in 2022. The sisters are Winifred, Sarah, and Mary. And the ladies here at No Friend Left Behind, the channel you're watching, we love that movie and we definitely encourage you to watch the movie. But we do not encourage you to create shirts about the Sanderson sisters. There are currently over 23,000 listings on Etsy that have the Sanderson sisters either in the title or in the tags. But that does not matter. That does not mean it is safe. If you create shirts that say Sanderson sisters, or if you use it in your title or in your tags, your SEO for your listings, you are not safe. You are infringing on Disney's intellectual property, and it is not a good idea to do this. So even though you're going to see lots and lots of listings on Etsy about the Sanderson sisters, even though you might love the movie yourself and think it would be a really fun niche to design in, and even though you're going to see tons and tons of bestsellers popping up about the Sanderson sisters, you do not want to tread on this dangerous ground. Skip it, and I will share with some things with you during this video that are totally safe and can make lots and lots of money too. Number 2, the second type of design you do not want to be listing in your Etsy shop during Q4, and this is going to go along with Sanderson sisters, but I felt like it was worth mentioning because I myself made this mistake. Hocus Pocus shirts. Now, the Sanderson sisters are the main characters in a movie called Hocus Pocus. But I feel like the words Hocus Pocus have just become words. They're just words that when we think of witches and we think of brews and we think of Halloween, Hocus Pocus is one of those words that kind of come up. And we associate that with Halloween itself. However, because it is a popular Disney movie, this could get us into trouble using the words Hocus Pocus. As a matter of fact, I'm a former 4th grade teacher, and the first year I got started with Etsy, I was making a lot of teacher designs, and I still do. I have a resource that can help you with teacher designs if you're interested in that. I'll leave it linked down in the description below. Teachers do this thing where we have to get all of the kids' attention, so we say loudly, Hocus Pocus, and then all the kids shout back, everybody focus. And the idea is that they clasp their hands, they put their hands in their lap, and they're quietly looking at you. It doesn't always work like that, but it is helpful to get their attention. So I thought, oh, I'll make these fun Halloween shirts. Hocus Pocus is a popular thing at Halloween. Not thinking about the movie at all, just thinking we say Hocus Pocus at school, it's Halloweeny. And so I made a bunch of shirts like that. It said Hocus Pocus, everybody focus, with little Halloween symbols on them. I didn't say anything about the Sanderson sisters, and I didn't have anything Disney related in decoration on the shirts. Once I kind of became aware and kind of thought about the fact that, oh, darn, like Hocus Pocus is a popular Disney movie. I had been selling those Hocus Pocus shirts. Nothing like that was a bestseller or anything like that, but I had sold a few, and I was just getting started, so selling a few of something, and then realizing that it shouldn't, that maybe this was a dangerous area to be listing in, was deflating to have to take that out of my shop. But I did. I took it all out of my shop because I did not feel that that was a safe move. Even though I didn't have any Disney related things in it, even though Hocus Pocus isn't necessarily a Disney thing, it is the name of a popular Disney movie. So I did not feel comfortable having something like that in my shop. Moving on to the third type of design we don't want to be listing in our shops, and it is also Disney related but worth mentioning. The last couple of tips are not Disney related at all. But this one is Halloween Town. Just look right now. I'm filming this in July, and we already have a bunch of bestseller badges on Halloween Town designs. They're already selling well, and even a Popular Now badge. So I mention this because I know a lot of people are tempted when they're doing their research. They're going to see this popping up, and they're like, oh, well, if I want to do well for Halloween, I have to make a Halloween Town design. And maybe you're not familiar with the movie, so now you know. Halloween Town is a Disney movie, which I suggest you watch. It's so much fun. It's a classic. I love that movie. It'll really get you into the Halloween spirit. But do not make any designs for your shop that are Halloween Town designs. And before we move on to something non-Disney related, I'll just state the obvious. Don't make anything Disney related at all. You know, I live in South Florida, so we've got Disney World here in Orlando. Disney's a big deal. People love to wear shirts to Disney, and Disney does this big thing at Halloween, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. And shirts are flying out of shops for people to wear for Halloween at Disney World to celebrate Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. Do not be tempted to join in on that, no matter how unfair you think it is that people are cashing in on these Disney designs. People that are selling Disney designs will probably make money faster than I did when I started my shop, and probably faster than you are with your shop if you're listing things that are safe. However, we can make tons of money. Last year, I sold $160,000 worth of profit in my shop. I sold, it was like, I think it was like over $700,000 revenue. In my pocket, $160,000 profit that I got to keep as my money for last year. Now, being a former fourth grade teacher, that was enormous because I made less than a third of that. It is not worth trying to take the fast road and trying to make that fast money and chancing losing your entire shop or even getting sued by Disney. So it's just not something that you want to play with. And if you are making a mistake and maybe you come across a video like this and you realize, oh no, I do have Hocus Pocus stuff in my shop. I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to do that. Or, oh man, I did make Disney stuff and I didn't realize what a big deal that was. Go ahead and take it out now. Take it out now before you get in trouble for it. I've made mistakes too, and I took that stuff out of my shop, and my shop was able to bounce back. So you will still be able to grow your shop, even though you're taking the hit and taking all those things out of your shop. No, it hurts, but just do it. Rip the Band-Aid off, get your shop right, so that you can make sure you're building a shop that's going to be around for a long time, and that's going to make you a nice income. And one more interesting thing about the theme park stuff, I get messaged all the time about Disney's Not So Scary Halloween and people letting me know that they want to wear my shirts to that event when they're going to be going to that event and they want to make sure they're going to get them on time. These are not Disney themed items in my shop. They're just fun Halloween shirts. So you can still create designs. There's such demand there for people who are going to the theme park and wearing shirts to the theme parks. If you're in family vacation, if you're in family Halloween, you have a good chance of still cashing in on some of those sales. Number 5, don't make shirts with popular, scary movie characters on them. These are really popular at Halloween time. You'll see stuff with like Freddy Krueger and Jason, and you'll see funny phrases and funny lines from the movies. All of this is protected by the companies that created those characters and created those movies. If they made a place in the movie popular or there's a popular line from the movie, none of that is really safe. You can maybe do a pun on some of these things, and that is, much safer than actually using something from a movie. I feel comfortable using puns, but I would never use a character from a movie, and I would avoid using a line straight out of a movie. Instead, you can do shirts just about liking horror movies. And that can also sell very well for Friday the 13th. We have a Friday the 13th coming up in September of this year and also in December of this year. which also means that anything that you do that does well for Halloween, you might want to double down on that idea and then turn it into more of a Friday the 13th type of design so that maybe it could sell again this December. But of course, make sure you don't actually write Friday the 13th on the shirt or in your SEO, because that is a scary movie. Number 6, and this one's not as obvious and it might make you pretty sad. Stay spooky is very much in demand on Etsy, and there are not a lot of shirts competing for this. According to Erank, the stats are great. So that might have you running out and going, oh my goodness, I have to do a Stay Spooky shirt or a bunch of Stay Spooky shirts, but don't do that just yet because it is trademarked. If you check uspto.gov, you'll see that Stay Spooky is a trademarked phrase. Listen, I realize a bunch of you right now that didn't know Stay Spooky was trademarked are feeling really annoyed by that. And I used to feel the same way when I would find out something was trademarked, and I guess I still do sometimes, but not nearly as often as I used to, because I really developed the skill of generating new ideas and of market research, reading the market research. So this is what this tells me. I'm still excited to design for Halloween, even though I can't use Stay Spooky, because knowing that lots of people are looking for the phrase Stay Spooky, and there are already a lot of people on Etsy that will do exactly what is already popular, so they'll just stick with Stay Spooky, leaves me with the edge because I'm willing to come up with new ideas. So, all right, how are we going to come up with ideas? Well, one way is we realize the word Stay Spooky, okay, there's a message there. We don't have to actually use the words Stay Spooky to express that message. So are there other phrases that are now going to stand out even in an even bigger way on Etsy because we had to generate the idea ourselves? So what are some other phrases that could express the same idea as Stay Spooky? Well, I used ChatGPT and just a quick brainstorming session to come up with a couple in just a minute or two. So you could imagine what you could come up with if you really spent some time on this. Stay creepy, stay scary. So here I use the word stay. So let's get rid of the word stay. Let's keep the word spooky. Maybe be spooky, or let's niche down now. And instead of stay spooky, let's say spooky teacher, or let's niche down even further. Spooky third grade teacher, spooky math teacher, spooky nurse, spooky RN, spooky doula, spooky pickleball player. People like the idea of being spooky, so now we're taking it and we're niching it down to very specific things, which is always a good thing to do when you're taking stabs at Etsy and trying to figure out your niches that are going to sell well for you. Some other phrases you might like: keep it spooky, keep it creepy, haunt on. So this still kind of keeps in that theme that people are liking and expresses the same idea. I am telling you, this works because I've done it in my shop a number of times. I find a phrase, it's already trademarked, I can't use it, so I have to get creative. Getting creative will make you money on Etsy. I'm going to say that again. Getting creative will make you money on Etsy. You just have to be brave enough to develop that skill, because it's a lot easier to make something that people are already making, because then you know it's not dumb. And you're like, oh, well, people are already buying this, it's popular. So I know that putting this on a shirt, that's not dumb. When you first start making your own way and blazing your own path and trying out your own phrases, you're taking a chance, and you have to be courageous, because maybe what you're putting winds up being dumb and no one likes it. And yeah, I've done that a bunch of times and it's worked out really well for me. Do make sure that you still check uspto.gov, even if you've made something up. Happy designing for Halloween. Watch this video next if you want to know more about creating ideas and adding value to the market. And I hope you have so much fun and get so many cha-chings this Halloween.